Now let's talk about somebody who hasn't been all that reasonable, but we're not talking about her for her plastic surgery, right? We're going to talk about Kail Lowry, former star of MTV's Teen Mom 2, trying to do a good deed for her community. She's got like a whole horde or a flock of chickens. They lay so many eggs, more than she and her 2011 kids, or is it 5011 kids, can ever consume. And so there's something that she's been doing for a while now, actually, which is hosting a stand. So she gives these eggs away. She'll have a stand. It'll be like, take one, take some for you, your family, whatever. And then people for months now, they've been, reasonably consuming these eggs that Kail puts out there, until the other day when Kail made an announcement on her Instagram, her Facebook, that's followed by, hundreds of thousands of people, saying, if you live around me or have gotten eggs from my egg stand, they are free for the rest of the year. Take what you need. I'll be stocking with some other foods as well. Can I just say though, it's kind of crazy to me that people could know where you live when you're such a big public figure and you've got so many kids and it's so chill. You know what I mean? This is so crazy to me. The idea of encouraging people to come around or people knowing where you live. I feel like sometimes the information y'all have over there in the States, it's a little bit too public. Does she live in, it doesn't seem like she lives in a gated community or anything like that. So to me, just from a paranoid perspective, this feels like a very, very dangerous thing for somebody this public with this many young, small children to have a bunch of people knowing where she lives and to listen. I think it's great what she's doing for her community and everything, but just that, giving people an excuse to come to your place. I don't know. I'm too paranoid for these sorts of activities personally, So anyway, she made that announcement over on her Facebook page that again is followed by hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people. And unfortunately, the following day, she had to go back and say that one person took 8 dozen eggs. So that is over 88 eggs, you guys. That's in the 90 somethings. One person took all of that, which is absolutely disgusting. There always has to be one selfish douchebag to come and ruin something for everybody else. In fact, I've been hearing about this for several years now, where some, really nice, generous people who are not able to keep opening the door and, giving out candies to trick-or-treaters. Some of them have decided to work on an honor system. They put out a basket of candy and they say, take, a little handful and leave some for the rest of, the kids, the trick-or-treaters in the neighborhood. And then other people come and they just empty out the whole basket in their, pillowcase or whatever it is that they're collecting candy in, right? There always, unfortunately, is one really, really selfish individual to come and ruin things for people. What does one person need 90 something eggs for? There's quite literally no reason for that. It is just, it's shameful. Whoever did this should be ashamed of themselves because they ruined a good thing for the community, right? And she was talking about putting out food and everything. We're going through tough times. A lot of people who, were previously living well are just struggling to get by. A lot of people are falling underneath that poverty line. And so these initiatives that people like Kail are doing to provide free food to their communities, they are needed now more than ever. So to hear about them being ruined and taken advantage of and everything like that, it breaks your heart. It really does, right? Because it discourages people. This is why so many people have a hard time giving, because they're skeptical, unfortunately, right? And unfortunately, you should be skeptical these days when you make donations or when you try to give things, because there's a lot of sketchy, scammy, greedy, evil people out there, unfortunately. Good morning, YouTube addict. Good morning, Mocha Madness. Nice to see y'all. Emily says it's more like 1,738 kids. Listen, you're telling me. Jamie says, I think she's trying to mean well, but then so people take more, you stop it. Exactly. Honestly, that was a lot of freaking eggs. That was a lot. Honestly, I don't even know how she had that many to give away, like that, right? And to be able to replace that, that's going to take time and it sucks. It really does. And like Ronnie says, it takes one person to ruin it all. Good point, Shelby. I'm 99% sure she has cameras. I hope she does. I don't know if she would have them all the way out there at the stand and everything, but I hope she does. And like a lot of security procedures at her house and everything. I don't know. Like, I don't remember her even having like yeah, she does actually. Never mind. But yeah, like I really hope she has a lot of protection at her house, because it's scary to me. Because don't forget, like, she's not a very like beloved reality TV character. You know what I mean? She's very disliked. She calls herself a villain and everything. So when you're a public figure, especially a public figure that's not very well liked, and your information is such public knowledge, and now there's an excuse for people to come by your house, or it's worrisome. It is. Ramster says, you're right, Grace. I'm pretty paranoid when it comes to my privacy as well, thanks to social media. Exactly. I feel like everybody should be. It's crazy out there. A lot of people, the smallest detail, maybe they'll notice the specific red or orange shade of your cushion and be able to tell where you live. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of crazies out there, a lot of brilliant crazies. Mocha says she put them in egg cartons so to have someone give out one free carton of eggs per person. It's so sad. It really is. It's just a beautiful initiative that she's doing. Fresh farm, free range chicken eggs. Like, are you kidding me? Didn't the price of eggs go up like crazy over there in the US? How much are y'all paying? You know what I'm paying? I think I pay like almost €3 for about a dozen eggs or something like that over here. But I heard y'all are paying like $20. Is that true? Were they exaggerating? Because y'all know sometimes they exaggerate in the media, right? Deshauna, I cannot get over this beautiful picture, boo. I hate when people take advantage of kindness. Amen. 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 It sucks. It really does. Yeah, kudos to Kail indeed for that. It's a beautiful initiative that she's got going on. And don't forget, she also has this other initiative that she does to help teachers be able to pay for school supplies. Mocha says the person who takes 90-something eggs most likely isn't, is going to sell them, at a high price. Screw that person. Some people are so evil. Like, karma is such a real thing. You can't do that. This is meant for people who are struggling, and you go and you want to, freaking screw people and whatnot. Maybe they're going to go to farmer's market and claim it's their own. What a prick. What a freaking prick. Gwen says, check your local area for community fridges and pantries. There's also a need. You know what? That's what I think she should do. Maybe she should give these away directly. I imagine it's hard for her to be able to get out of her way to go to the pantry to get them delivered and everything. But I think that something like that, well, especially when you have such a large quantity, would be more safe, so that she doesn't have any more people trying to take advantage of her, or to steal or anything like that. Because what just happened here is absolutely insane. Now here y'all come with the prices that y'all are paying for eggs. I'm so excited about this. Shelby said she paid $2.99 for a dozen eggs, which I think is really good. Angie says $5 a dozen. Okay. Egg prices are back down under $2 for a dozen. Damn, now that's really, really freaking good. Summer says, in Boston, Massachusetts, I paid $7 for store brand eggs. Organic is $7.50. $7 for a dozen store brand eggs. Ooh, that's not great. Kahara says the price of eggs have gone down, but a few months back they were really expensive, like $10 a dozen. Jesus. Gwen says eggs finally went back down at my local Costco, but they were still expensive in some places. Isn't that wild, you guys? And Angie, by the way, is in southeastern Wisconsin with the cheese, where she's paying $5 a dozen. Is this like, what are you guys strict about the kinds of egg you get? Like, so for me, they have to be free range chicken. And I think that's about it. I don't know if I really care too much if it's organic or not. I just, want them to be free range, and that's about it. And like locally, not locally to like Paris, you're not getting farms out here, but like, in a small French eggs. Terry says, I get my eggs from our neighbor, down the road, because eggs at the store are so expensive, although I have to stop because of bird flu. Not bird flu again. Why are the birds always sick? Give them a damn flu shot and call it a day, right? Give them a damn flu shot. No way, Jose. Under $3 a wear. Listen, Kahara's about to start her car and go get it. Come on, y'all. She's about to go get it. Listen, I would too for under $3. What did I tell y'all, guys? I think I paid just under $3. €3 anyway. Here in Paris for, it's either 9 or 12 eggs. I can't even remember. Shelby says it really depends on what fancy words are on the carton, organic, free range, etc. Exactly. It's all about marketing at the end of the day, right? An egg is an egg for my belly. Ain't that the truth? Summer says, girl, don't be fooled by that free range. Free range can mean that they're allowed out of the coop for 1 hour a day. Really? Because to me, I thought it meant that that's just like they lived outside sort of a thing. Oh, damn. I think the best thing you can do is like live in the countryside. raise your own chickens with your own little chicken coop, grow your herbs, your fruits, your vegetables. And, one of my girls, Hey Shar, says, I prefer free range chickens and brown. See, I'm the same way. Ramster says €3.19 for a dozen, the cheapest and no free range. Who said that she was going to her neighbors? Who said she was going to her neighbors? Yes, it was Terry. So Terry, this kind of community thing where people grow their own things and maybe they have their own animals and whatnot to produce eggs and whatnot, and they kind of share that way. Isn't that so great to be able to have a community like that? Like that to me is the ultimate dream. Hey, by the way, Shar J, and